Let's do some Top That Trade now with Phil Flynn, a Fox Business Network News contributor, and pro trader Alan Knuckman, the chief market strategist at bullseyeoption.com. Good to have you both with us. You know the theme of the day, round number one. What is your worst trade for 2023?
The worst trade of the year were trades that I didn't do, that I had some good feelings about, and I didn't trust my instincts and I didn't trust my trading plan. So that's where I regret not is trades that I didn't do. Any trades that I do, I've got a good trading plan and I've got discipline. I know where I want to get in, where I want to get out. But the ones I don't actually pull the trigger, those are the ones I regret.
I don't know if it's the worst trade, but one of the more disappointing trades that we had this year was the natural gas market.
Yeah.
And listen, it's the bottom line is the fundamentals on natural gas were incredibly bullish. But when it comes to that market, there are outside forces that can change the fundamentals. Two things. They had one of the biggest export terminals for liquefied natural gas go offline. That's unpredictable. But it had a major impact on prices. That's right. And it was warm in Europe. Weather was the other issue. Right. It never happened. So, it was warm here in the United States as well. January
it's not over,
the least amount heating degree days in history. So from a demand viewpoint for heating fuels, January was among the lowest in history. So that can change the fundamentals. We went from a market that should have had an undersupply to an oversupply. So that shows you the future can change pretty dramatically.
The future could be a hot summer for the futures.
Round number two, what's your best trade?
My best trade, I would hate to say it. I've mentioned many times before, I'll trade anything, anytime, any direction, as long as I can get in and get out and have a good trading plan. Was I think in GameStop. Is it GameStop or GameStop? I don't even know. It's a market that was on the move, and I had some options in that, and it did really well. But I did the opposite that the bros did. I bought some in the money calls that was like buying the stock at 10 or whatever, and that did very, very well. I didn't buy the out of the money options with like a week to go. That's low probability, but for me, like I said, it's not what I trade; it's how I trade.
Yeah, I don't know if the best, throughout the year we, trade so many different markets with oil and gas. But I think one that I think was good, I don't know if it was last year, the end of last year, was the grain market, right?
Yeah.
We saw a situation where grain prices had an explosive move with the war in Ukraine. Prices spiked up high. They came back down. And we had accumulated a lot of options, prior to that, right? And so when the prices spiked up, the return on the investment was incredible. Now, interestingly enough, we've seen grains pull back a lot. And I think that if you look at the long-term chart, this could be a trade that you could do again. Maybe look at buying grain options, not just for this upcoming growing season, but actually go out to December and November of 24 for wheat, corn, and beans. Buy some out of the money options because we're living kernel to kernel. We have no room for error in the global grain system. If we have a drought or a subpar crop, I think these prices could soar again.
Round number three, let's get your next trade. And Phil, you alluded to what you might be doing next.
Well, I think the grain markets is something that I definitely think will be a good thing. But the other thing that I know I sound like a broken record on, it's basically energy stocks and oil stocks. I mean, they're making an incredible amount of money right now. These companies that had record amounts of debts have paid it off, and the upside looks pretty incredible. So I definitely would have, refiners, producers, and pipelines in your portfolio.
Yeah, I would add to that broken record. I mean, we've talked about this over and over again. The fundamentals are there. The PE ratios are still extremely low, the lowest of all the S&P segments. So energy still has some opportunity. And the fact is that it's not been that long that we have tested the lows and tested and rejected the lows in crude oil. And a breakout of 80 could get that party going once again. And there's always price pop potential when it comes to crude oil. You look at something like Oxy, it's been trading sideways now for many, many months. And that was a big, big mover a couple of years ago. Everything comes in cycles, and I think its cycle is due for energy once again.
Here's your bonus round question for today. It's ticker time. Can you spot the made-up ticker? Will it be best, worst, or next?
Worst is made up.
Yeah, worst is made up.
You guys are simply the best because the answer was worst. Great job. A couple of winner chicken dinners. Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.